should be. Or at least it shouldn't take too long for it to fully load onto the channel. Go onto the main account. It should be up, Plevs. Do you want me to DM you the link?
No, all good, I got it. Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just got the
I'll just check
link.
as well. Okay. Audio is working as it should. That is fantastic. Streams up, chats up. We're all good to go. Just got to wait a little while for the race start. Oh, or rather, qualifying start. Oh. Holy mackerel. This really is going to be some event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be great, I think. Very interesting to watch, so see what.
Some of these guys I
Always
know, just from people talking about them. Some of them I've never ever heard of in my entire life. So I've got some expectations, but for the most part, I'm completely lost. So,
Yeah, I'm about the same. I don't think I know everyone. I know a fair few, so yeah. I've just invited Slammer, who's the organiser, into the party. I think he was going to join for a chat during quali a bit to talk about the event a bit. So
very well. Oh, we've got people joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just doing a bit of pre-race shenanigans, trying to get a link distributed out to many different leagues. You can hear Plevs in the background furiously.
Oh, I'll mute.
No, it's alright.
My mechanical keyboard.
Mate, it's a lovely sound. It's the sound of hard work right there. Oh, my goodness. Some top quality drivers all around. Fantastic. Hello, Mr. Slammer. Hello, hello, hello. Hang on, I'll just turn you up a little bit. There we are. So you're the brains behind this entire operation, from what I understand. Well, it's bound to be a hell of a lot of fun. You picked a great racetrack to tear drivers apart with Silverstone. Oh! Oh. Oh, righto. Fair enough. No, this is bound to be a fantastic race. Like, we've got top quality drivers from all sorts of different leagues on all sorts of platforms as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, you picked a hell of a good racetrack, you lot. Silverstone is definitely one of the better circuits to pick for this kind of event. So, no, this is fantastic. Oh, hello chat, hello, hello. Blue Dog, Spicy Bags, KD, hello. Nice to have you all here watching along. We're bound to have a lot more people joining from a couple of different leagues. If you want as well, OSRL are streaming on Twitch, and they've got a unique telemetry system that I've worked with in the past on a different league called Contest of Speed. But it will give you quite a fair chunk of data thanks to the Twitch commands used with the telemetry. I already have. I have access to this telemetry system. Like I said, I work with a different league. No, I should be alright. Like I said, I should be able to access it pretty quick, I would think. There's Plevs making the call out in the announcements. Good, good, good. Driver briefing went okay on your end? Good. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's good to hear. Alrighty folks, time to get introductions out of the way. Hello everyone and welcome to this very special event presented here on Race Spec Esports. I'm LaneEveringham, your lead commentator for this stream, and I'm proud to present the Oceania F1 Invitational. 18 of the best racing drivers from Australia and New Zealand, representing 9 Oceanic F1 racing leagues, are set to battle head-to-head on one of the world's greatest racetracks for a winner-takes-all prize of $300. The circuit used to host this massive year-ending event is the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, home of the British Grand Prix. Over a 70-year span, this former RAF airfield, used during the Second World War, has turned itself into one of the most iconic, respected and prestigious racing facilities in the world. The modern-day layout measures up at 5.89 kilometres and consists of 18 corners and 2 DRS zones that lead down the Wellington and Hangar Straights into the prime overtaking spots of Brooklands and Stowe. There are other overtaking opportunities around the racetrack, such as the Turn 3 hairpin of Village and the Turn 16-17 chicane of Vale. But for the majority of the overtaking today, we'll see them happen in the DRS zones. For the rest of the circuit, the drivers will have to deal with some of the fastest corners in Formula 1, most notably the right-handers of Abbey and Copse Corner, and of course the most famous part of the circuit, the Maggots and Beckett's S's within the middle sector. These corners have very, very little margin for error, and with the high-speed nature of these corners, even the slightest mistake from any driver tonight, whether it be during qualifying or in the race, could prove to be incredibly costly. Now, I have Slammers and Plevs in with me tonight, the man who's organising the event, and Mr. Race Spec himself. So thank you very much to you two for joining me here and the rest of us watching along. Who should I start with? Do I start with you, Slammer?
Start with Slammer.
Alright. But no, thank you very much for organising this. This is a huge, huge event. Like, 18 of the best drivers in Oceania, 9 Oceanic racing leagues. How long did this take to put together? Yep.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, boys, but Slammer's audio sharing is off, so no one on stream can hear him.
Oh my goodness.
Which is a great shame, but yeah, that he had some really great things to say that everyone missed, unfortunately. Can we work that? Can we get that sorted out?
That would have to be on Slammers, and
yeah.
I can't do anything to change that, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
Hang on, Plevs. I'll turn you down a little bit too. You are loud. Gee whiz.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and yeah, looking forward to this event. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
All right, Mr. Race Spec, time to turn to you. You've picked... Was it your choice of the drivers representing Race Spec Esports tonight?
Oh yeah, I thought Bailey and Zach had exceptional seasons this previous, like, or the latest season at Race Spec, winning all the races in Pacific Tier 1. So yeah, it was a bit of a no-brainer to pick these two. Obviously, we're kind of spoiled for choice with some great drivers throughout the leagues in both Pacific and Elite Series and Open Series as well. So, yeah, just went for the two boys that I think are probably in the class they own, at least in our league, and up against some guys who are probably considered the same in their league. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Fair enough. But we'll take you through the grid order and who's representing who for this one-off event as Ryan Bell jumps to the top of the table with a 26.7.
That's a good lap.
That is a fast lap. But in saying that, Mr. Jack Humphreys, a man who I've seen before, did that 27.3 on a set of mediums. So it'll be interesting to see how Jack fares throughout the rest of qualifying. But, oh, hello, Broccolelli. What are you up to? You're off in the gravel at the exit of turn 2. And fiddling enough, he's the first person on my list. DRS, driving the Mercedes-Benz cars. We've got Crazy Kiwi and Broccolelli representing them. I mentioned Mr. Humphreys before. His teammate Fiery Hour has just jumped up to P2. These two members are part of OSRL. They'll be driving the Red Bulls tonight as Prince jumps up to the top. Fantastic timing. They're the next team. Prince OK10 and Mash Jr. represent the Inters Racing League, and they'll be driving for Ferrari. Ryan Bell, the man who is now in second place, he's representing Aussie Formula Racing alongside Big Al. I love that name. They'll be in the McLarens tonight. Rush Racing League are the next team. I'll see if I can't find a driver. Vengeance, a driver who I've seen for an entire season in the Elite Series. He'll be representing Rush alongside Mr. Fury Strat, and they'll be driving in the Alpines. In the Alpha Tauris, we got Mr. Kahoot still in the garage with just over 12.5 minutes left in qualifying. As, wow, 40 has jumped to the top with a 26.6.
What a banker.
He'll be representing Rapid Racing League alongside Noodles in the Alpha Tauris. Next is the Australian Racing Association. They'll be driving in the Aston Martins. We got BNE_Millsy and BFE Toto representing them. In the Williams cars, we have Kiwi here, Kiwi 2011. He is one of two Kiwis in the event, alongside Crazy Kiwi, who is representing DRS. Alongside him is Nat Hammer, and they'll be driving in the Williams cars. And finally, the two Alfa Romeos representing Race Spec Esports. We have Pacific Tier 1 champion GeForce Ford alongside 5-time Pacific Tier 1 champion GeForce Crichton. And at the moment, Mr. Ford, showing he still has pace. That is a fast banker, as you mentioned, Plevs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a marker right there. I know in practice he I think in his final practice session before the event he did a 0.5 as a banker. So yeah, looking forward to see what he can pull out on a final run when the track ramps up a bit. We might see a 4 or a 5, which is insane for the rest of us, but for this guy it's kind of routine.
Yeah, 40 has been on some kind of form as of late, and he needs all of it for tonight because he's up against some of the hardest competition he has ever faced in his history of league racing. Tell you what, we're going to take advantage of Mr. Kahoot here. He's on an outlap getting himself ready. I'm going to take you on a guided tour of this legendary 5.89 kilometre racetrack. He's making his way up towards the Vale chicane, up into 7th gear, brings it down to 3rd. Nicely hitting the apex there, heading around turn 17 and up towards Club Corner, the final corner on the racetrack, and down the Hamilton Straight to begin a flying lap. Up towards Abbey, turn 1, 8th gear, chucking in, downshifting to 7th as he heads through turn 2 and up towards the village hairpin of turn 3. Down to 3rd gear, short shifts up to 4th as he heads into the hairpin of the loop. 4th gear, nice on the accelerator on the exit there as he heads around Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight, climbing up through the gears up towards Brooklands, one of the better overtaking spots on the circuit. Down through the gears, down to 4th gear, gently applying the throttle as he heads around the right-hander of Luffield, turn 7. You have to be very careful on how quickly you apply full throttle at the exit of that corner, otherwise you can spin out and end up in a barrier. Out of Woodcote, up towards Cops Corner, turn 9. Really tricky to get this absolutely spot on, but Kahoot does a pretty nice job. Now into the most infamous part of the circuit, Maggots and Beckett's, turns 10, 11 into 12 and around turn 13. Then around the left-hander of Chapel, turn 14 onto the Hangar Straight with DRS open. Climbing up through the gears up towards Stowe corner. Another one of the better overtaking spots on the circuit. Hard on the brakes, down to 5th gear. Will he short shift? Yes, he does. Up to 6th gear at the exit of Stowe. Up towards the Vale chicane, turn 16 and 17. Nice and steady here in 4th gear, short shifting to 5th. And up towards the final corner. Club and crossing the line. 27.4 puts him P9 just in front of his teammate.
Wow, that was awesome.
Oh,
hopefully you can hear me
what's
now,
a
guys.
call? Yeah, let us know in the chat in the on YouTube if you can hear Slammer now, guys. And then we can chat to him. He can talk to you.
But I was going to mention to you, Slammers, how proud of you for organising all of this. You must feel pretty proud of yourself.
I am, mate. I look, personally, yes, I will, you know, I'll absolutely, I agree with that. But it's not so much. I think the pride for me is the fact that the buzz that has been generating over the last week or so, and especially over the last few days. I've had a lot of contact from people I've never heard of before in regards to this, and so you know, that's great. But it just shows how far-reaching this, you know, this pastime of ours, this passion of ours, because we wouldn't be watching or driving or commentating or listening or organising or adminning or owning if we didn't love it. So the fact that we can get everyone together and love it together, that's, to me, that's it. That's the big one. That is the big one for me.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to thank?
Oh, there's lots, mate. There's lots. Yeah. The guy sitting next to you in the comms box has been one of the biggest supporters. Because he's had a lot of input in the organising behind the scenes. You know, we've had this chat going for, what's it been now, Plebs? Good month, maybe 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, probably about. Yep.
Yeah. Now, Plebs knows how to run a league, so I've been bouncing a lot of things off him, and he's been giving me some really good input on how and what we should do in order to set it up. So that's been unreal. Urban Scyther from OSRL has been fantastic as well. Sandeezy from OSRL has been great, and Matty Ross Watson from DRS has been fantastic too. They're the names that come off the top of my head straight away as the guys that have had the biggest say behind the scenes in making sure we'll be able to complete this series tonight.
During that, Mr. Ryan Bell in the McLaren has just jumped up to pole position with a 1 minute 26.593, beating Mr. Ford by just over half a tenth of a second as Fordy makes his way out of the left field around Woodcote down the old pit straight as Mr. Humphreys jumps up to P3 with a 26.769. Around Cops Corner goes Ford up towards Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Really high speed, edge of grip stuff through here. Flat out. Oh, cutting way too much there, Fordy. That was way too much. At the entry to turn 11, and he invalidates that run. Prince here making his way out of Cops Corner up towards the Maggots and Beckett's S's. Can he do better? Around turn 10 into turn 11, around the left-hander of turn 12 up towards turn 13, down to 5th gear, short shifting up to 6 as he makes his way down the hanger straight and up towards Stowe Corner. He's up by 72 thousandths of a second, but that sort of improvement, he will stay in the 7s, but he will overtake Jack Humphreys as he makes his way up towards the Vale chicane. Hard on the brakes here, brings it down to 4th gear. Does he short shift at the exit of the chicane? No, he's keeping it in 4th. There's the short shift there. Around Club Corner, up towards the line, and Press will set. Oh, he actually lost time there, just a little bit of time in the final sector. He'll set a 26.755, moves just in front of Humphreys. Crichton, I believe, has just set a lap. He's done a 26.8, currently P5 on the table. Big Al will cross the line here. Ryan Bell's teammate, he will only improve by 100th of a second. Stays P7. Mash here appears to be, he's on an in-lap. Noodles making his way into the pits. Kahoot looks like he might be on an out lap, getting ready to set a flying lap. No, he's coming in. But one final thing for you, Slammers. Would you like to talk about how this race is going to unfold and how we determine the winner of this invitational event?
I'm glad you asked, mate. So it is a team's event, first and foremost. So it's I know there's a bit on the line when it comes to the individual drivers, and yes, we have got some absolutely crack drivers out there. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make this about the league, so it is an individual event. Effectively, we've got a point system from first down to 18th, starting 50 points for first, 45 second, 40 for third, and basically descends all the way down to 1 point for 18th, as well as 2 points for the fastest lap. Basically, the team with the most accumulated points at the end of the race wins. Simple as that. If we do have a tie, the countback is the driver that finished higher up across the line.
Very simple, very effective, I must say.
Very simple. There's a $300 prize up for the winning team, $150 per driver. So you don't necessarily need to win the race, but I'm pretty sure if you finish second and third, you're going to have someone do very well to beat you. So don't necessarily have to win the race. Your team needs to have the most points.
Fair enough. Now we've got plenty of drivers in the pit lane. I think everyone else out on track is doing a in-lap. They're getting themselves back towards the pits and getting themselves ready for their final runs. We're going to have a fair bit of chaos out on track. We're going to have 18 cars all pouring out at the same time with about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. I imagine traffic is going to play a fair bit of havoc towards the end of this qualifying session. This is bound to be interesting because, everyone's in. 2 Williams drivers of Nat Hammer and Kiwi, they're coming into the pits to put on their final set of tyres to get out for their final runs. Mr. Bell is still at the top with a 26.593. He's got half a tenth of a second over G-Force Ford. Then it's a further tenth back to Prince in P3. Then we got Humphreys in P4, followed by Crichton and Fiery Hour, Big Al in P7, then Mash Jr. Then we got Noodles and Vengeance rounding out the top 10 with exactly 8 tenths separating the top 10 drivers. So pretty close, considering this track is just under 6 kilometers long. But who's going to take pole? That is the question. You've got basically one run. That's all you've got. That's all that the timer allows you to do at this end of the qualifying session. So drivers need to get it right here, right now. And track position does help around a circuit like this. We're going to see a fair few DRS trains forming over the course of this race. And as a result, overtaking is going to be somewhat difficult. So the drivers need to qualify as high up as possible, so they don't have anywhere near as much work to do trying to make their way towards the front. Now, also know as well, it should be completely dry conditions for the race. Yep. We shouldn't have wet weather interference.
Yep, it's a dry race, mate. Yep.
No, that's fair, I think. Because sometimes with a dynamic race, it can fall down to a little bit of luck. It does make it interesting, of course. But here, with just fully dry conditions, it's a genuine fight in terms of raw pace and raw skill.
There was quite a bit of discussion, let me tell you, about whether we were going to go dynamic or clear. If it was a series, if it was more than one race, then it definitely would have been dynamic. But as a one-off event, we basically put a vote out to the admins, and it came back as the preference, very close, but the preference was for it to be dry, so we went with dry.
Majority always rules at the end of the day. And here we go.
To be sure.
With 1 minute left in qualifying, Mr. Bell, our current pole sitter, will take off on his final flying lap up towards Abbey, turn 1. 300 kilometers an hour is an entry speed. You're basically carrying that 300 Ks all the way around the corner. You can imagine in real life the ridiculous G-forces you would feel through there, losing the back end just a little bit at the exit of turn 3 as he makes his way out to the loop and up towards Aintree, turn 5, and onto the Wellington straight. What does the first sector split say for the McLaren driver? It says he is down, I believe, by 12 thousandths of a second. It's not much, but he has lost a little bit of time to the first sector. Meanwhile, Ford, he's making his way through the first sector, through turns 1 and 2, and up towards the hairpin of turn 3. Hard on the brakes, brings it down to 4th gear, clips the apex as he heads into turn 4. Down to 3rd gear. Does he use 2nd? No. He short shifts up to 4th gear on the exit, around turn 5 and onto the Wellington straight. What does the clock say to the first sector for G-Force Ford? It says he is up by 63 thousandths of a second. Prince currently P3 making his way onto the Wellington Straight and up towards the first sector split. Meanwhile, Ryan Bell making his way down the Hangar Straight is up by 59 thousandths of a second as he heads around Stowe Corner. Oh, and loses control. Great save, though. An awesome save by Bell at the exit of Stowe. That took a lot of skill to snatch that thing back. Awesome driving, but that will ruin his final flying lap attempt. Through the S's we go. G-Force Ford currently P2. He's missing out on pole position by half a tenth, and he's currently up by 1/10 of a second to the middle sector, but he needs to get the final sector spot on. Meanwhile, his teammate Crichton, he's making his way around Stowe, up towards the Vale chicane for the final time in quali, down from 7th gear, down to third gear. Jack Humphreys has jumped to the top with a 26.512. What can Crichton do when he crosses the line? It's P3. What about Ford? It's P2. He misses out by 9 thousandths of a second as Prince makes his way through the Vale chicane for the final time in quali, around Club Corner and back onto the Hamilton Straight. It's a 26.7. He stays P6. He does not improve. Mash Jr. is currently up by 33 thousandths to the middle sector. Noodles, he's bailed on his final run. Around the final corner goes the Ferrari driver, and he's backed off completely. He will not be improving. Oh, dearie me.
Wow. That is, I mean, for how quick these guys are, that's extremely close. Well done to them. Well, look at that. Less than 100th of a second for pole. That's crazy.
1/10 of a second separates the top four.
Top four. That was a great lap by Zach. I must say he improved, like he had the biggest improvement on the last run. So, yeah, well done to Jack for getting pole. That's really close. Bailey should be happy with P2 getting a 5 as well. This is going to be a cracking race.
It's the usual suspects up there. I think a lot of talk has been in the like in the lead up that those 5 or 6 names were going to be there or thereabouts, and yeah, that's how the cards are falling. Oh, I can't wait for this race, guys.
1.8 seconds separates the entire field at the end of qualifying, and it's strike one that goes to OSRL. Mr. Jack Humphreys qualifies on pole with a 1 minute 26.512, beating his nearest rival G-Force Ford by 9 thousandths of a second. Ridiculous stuff, especially around a racetrack that's almost 6 kilometers long and has 18 corners. That's ridiculous stuff. And the top 4 separated by 1/10. Well, here it comes, Slammer. The big moment is about to happen for you.
I'm nervous. I'll tell you, I'm more nervous for the EA guides. I'm hoping they play games here. Like they play nice. So if the EA guides are nice to us, we're going to have a crack of a race.
Oh, mate. So, I'm praying that the gods are on our side and everything works smoothly. Hopefully it does. So far, so good. That's right. We've had a faultless qualifying session. No major incidents. We had a few spins here and there, but no major incidents. Everyone's behaved themselves, and the game's behaving itself.
Yeah, and we've got every platform represented here, I think, except for Xbox or old gen. But otherwise, every other platform. We've got PS4, PS5, PC, Steam, PC, Origin, and Xbox new gen. So we've got the broad spectrum, which has me pooping my pants a little bit, but let's see how we go.
Hey man, there's only one way to find out how this all pans out. So
it's good test for crossplay for sure.
That's it.
I know there's going to be a lot of leagues watching because it's high up on the agenda for a lot of leagues for next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to run. I wish you all the very best on your call tonight. May the best team win, and mate, thank you so much, Plebs, especially for your support, your help in getting this all set up, and all to the audience out there tuning in via YouTube.
Mate, I don't deserve anything. So this is all you. This is all you.
Yeah, but
so
without your input, mate, there's things that are happening tonight that probably wouldn't. So it takes the whole group of us to tango. The other guys that that had input aren't here. You are, so I'm going to thank you.
Oh, good. No, thank you, mate. It's we'd have a pretty boring Wednesday night without you organising this. So yeah, excellent job and well done. Hope it becomes like a annual or maybe even every 6 months type thing. So yeah.
We'll chat about that. Debrief, eh?
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much, guys. Have a great call. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Slammer.
See you, Slammer.
All right, let's run through the grid. On pole position is Jack Humphreys, representing OSRL. He's starting on the hard compound tyre, and so is the following 12 drivers behind him. We've got GeForce Ford in second, Ryan Bell in third, GeForce Crichton in fourth, Fiery Hour in fifth, Prince in sixth, Big Al in seventh, Vengeance in eighth, followed by Mash in ninth, and Noodles rounds out the top 10. Next is his teammate Kahoot, followed by Fury Strat and Toto in P13. He's the last of the hard runners, minus one other driver, that being his teammate Millsy in P16. The next two drivers, Crazy Kiwi and Nat Hammer, they're starting on the medium compound tyre. Kiwi and Broccolili starting on the last row on the grid are starting on the mediums as well, as I believe that was Toto doing a bit of lawn mowing there down the hangar straight. No, everyone going with the same strategy, Plevs. Just about everybody.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah. So when I was talking to Zach and Bailey, I didn't know really what they were going to do, but I suggested maybe if one of them got a front row, then try mediums, see if they can check out. But they've gone hards. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. These guys, some of them know each other, but like for a lot of them, it's the first time racing with each other. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All right, folks, strap yourselves in. The leaders are lined up, ready to race. We'll get rid of that tyre graphic for now. We'll bring it back at a later date. All 18 drivers are now lined up, ready to go. As soon as Broccolili lines up into his grid slot, there we go. Right, 18 of the best racing drivers from Australia and New Zealand, representing 9 Oceanic racing leads, are about to do battle on one of the world's greatest racetracks. We got 5 red lights. And we're underway here at Silverstone. It's a nice start from GeForce Ford. It's a nice start from Mr. Humphreys. And here comes Ryan Bell, looking round the outside at turn 1. Can he find a way by? He has the inside line at turn 2. They'll turn to the outside line, heading into the village hairpin. Can he fight around the outside? He's trying to. A big squeeze there from Ford. He shoves the nose in through the loop. Coming out now, Humphreys a bit slow exiting the corner. He had Bell and Ford right up his gearbox, running wide. Goes GeForce Ford down the Wellington Straight, up towards Brooklyn's running wide. I think it's Nat Hammer in the Williams at the exit of Aintree. The top 3 really close together, battling hard as they head around Luffield turn 7. It's Humphrey who leads, followed by Bell, then Ford and Crichton. Rounding out the top 5 is Fiery Hour in the other Red Bull, side by side still. Down the old main straight, up towards Cops Corner. Ford has the inside line, but Bell fights back. Fantastic stuff as they head up towards the famous Maggots and Beckett's S's. And finally Bell gets in front into second position. And even with all that squabbling, even with all that side-by-side action, the race leader hasn't pulled away. That's how fast these guys are. Down the hangar straight, up towards Stowe Corner for the first time. Humphreys does have a small margin in hand, but he's going to have a hard time pulling away from the guys behind. No major gainers from what I can tell off the start. The biggest gainers appear to be Noodles. He's up 3. Millsy's up 3. So is Kiwi down in P14. He made up 3 positions on the start as Broccolili and Toto are battling for P16 and 17. There's battles going on everywhere. At the top of the field, at the bottom of the field, and in the middle of the field as well, as the leaders make their way up towards turn 3. Humphreys still having that comfortable 4/10 margin in hand over Bell as Noodles and Prince are battling for P7. Noodles gets in front. Prince can't fight back, heading through the loop. Now heading up towards Aintree, turn 5. He switches on the battery and he's buried in the slipstream, but he won't have the momentum to counter-attack into Brooklands. We got guys moving all over the straight, trying to defend their position. As the drivers head around Brooklands and around Luffield, back onto the old pit straight. But Plevs, no major drama on this opening part of the race.
That was insane. Wow, like breathless. Like what a first lap. Ryan and Fordy battling there. That was reminiscent of Hamilton and Verstappen in 2021. If you don't like, without the incident at what's it called?
At Cops.
At Cops, yeah. Insane from both of them. Really, really good. So yeah, let's hope that's a sign of things to come. But yeah, it can be a bit of a DRS train, so let's hope we get some action, and that's kind of not the only time we see cars side by side.
Well, from the looks of things, we've got a top 6 forming. At the back of this leading train is Big Al in the McLaren. Noodles is 1.2 seconds behind. He hasn't really closed in as Ryan Bell sets a new fastest lap. 1 minute 31.216 as DRS is now enabled. So Noodles needs to get a hurry on, try and catch up to that top 6 if he can. He cannot afford to lose DRS to the leaders this early. It's going to be next to impossible to catch up without a safety car. Bell, he'll have DRS heading out of Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight, but I feel he's a bit too far behind to attack Jack Humphreys heading into Brooklands, and he is, but he has gained about a tenth or so down that straightaway. We won't see too much battling, I would think, in these early stages of this race. The drivers, they want to feel themselves out, try and get themselves into a rhythm, because obviously you can't win the race at this stage. You can definitely lose it, though, with a simple mistake. And there are plenty of areas here where you can make that simple mistake. So it's all about getting the rhythm first, then worrying about fighting for position later. You can see as well, Noodles is losing time. 1.4 seconds is the gap now. He's got Prince all over the back of him. Fortunately, Noodles does have some backup. He's got his teammate Kahoot in P9 as we head down the Hangar Straight, up towards Stowe Corner. Down the inside goes Prince, an elementary overtake with the sheer power of DRS. Vengeance and Mash battling for position. This is for P10 as they head through Stowe Corner. Mash demoted down to P11. Can he counter here into the Vale Chicane? The answer is no. He has to stay behind. Fury Strat right behind in P12 as well as Ford sends a new fastest lap. 31.118 as the leaders begin lap 4 of 26 here at Silverstone. Prince has started to close back in. The gap's now 1.1 seconds between himself and Big Al. So he's doing the job needed. Still got a fair chunk of work to do, though. It might not seem much, 2.5 tenths, but around a track like this, where, as we saw in qualifying, everyone's so competitive, those 2 tenths are going to be really hard to find. Yeah, not too much battling. As I mentioned earlier, it's the early stages of the race. We've got to let the race unfold a little bit. Bell just hovering behind in P2, 4 tenths behind, not making any massive inroads as of yet. Closes a little bit down this main straight, but here through these fast corners, he will have to put up with a little bit of dirty air. It's not as bad as the previous cars from, say, 2021 or F1 2020, but there's still just that little bit of dirty air you do have to deal with. The Bell is close. He is close. 3.5 tenths. Maybe not close enough. Maybe Humphreys using a little bit of battery down that straightaway. Might flick on the telemetry. You can see Humphreys has still got a fair bit of battery. He's got just under 90%. Whereas Bell, he's at 55 heading into the Vale Chicane. Ford, decent battery, 60%. Crichton doing better with 65. 62 for Fiery Hour. 54 for Big Al. And he's got the red fuel icon on the telemetry as well. So he's low on fuel. Prince sets a new fastest lap, 30.6. And look at that. He's back within that 1 second range, and he's now going to try and join this leading battle. Yeah, not too much else happening right now, Plevs. Not too much happening.
I'm just keeping an eye on these this leading group, but yeah, Prince has done well to get past Noodles and then back into DRS. He's just outside of it at the moment, but he's pushing hard. He's gone down to about 30% ERS to try and get on the back of that lead train, see if he can do it. He's just outside again.
Yep. Needs to work hard here, and you can see on the telemetry he is dumping battery, doing everything he can to get within that 1 second range of Big Al in the McLaren, who is right behind Fiery Hour exiting Copse Corner. In fact, he's trying to draw alongside heading into turn 10. Gee whiz, he had a whole heap of speed exiting turn 9. Here we go, through turn 13 and around turn 14. Now both cars have DRS, but who's got better straight line speed? The Red Bull or the McLaren? And I think the advantage is maybe slightly in the McLaren's favour, but I only just mean slightly, not much. Yeah, just not quite close enough to attack the Red Bull in front. See how tightly back this leading group is, and there is Prince, 8 tenths behind. And he's actually dropped Noodles as well. The gap's now 1.6 seconds between the Ferrari and AlphaTauri heading down the Hamilton Straight. So Prince losing touch with the leading group, but still doing a pretty solid job in 8th place with his teammate directly behind. Two AlphaTauri drivers representing the Rapid Racing League. both inside the top 10. They'll be hoping to stay there throughout the rest of this race. Now, Ryan, close enough? No is the answer. Still hovering at about 65% battery. See Humphries though, awesome battery recovery, sitting at 95%. He hasn't really touched it. It's a quality I've seen from only a few drivers, one of which I commentated for in the Elite Series, a man by the name of Marcus Costa. He's a master at saving battery. It seems that Mr. Humphries here is quite similar, leading the way, heading through the S's, the Maggots and Beckett's, heading up towards Chapel, the left-hander that leads on to the hangar straight. He's got enough gap in hand and enough battery at hand to keep Bell at bay, keeping that 4/10 margin.
Yeah, Bell hasn't really gone for a move yet or tried. God, he's close though. He's in 2/10 there going through Stowe. He's very close. I feel like if he wanted to try a move, he's definitely close enough at the moment. So but as you say, Jack's got plenty of battery to defend with. So it'll just be about when Ryan decides to make a move. If he does, and I guess the guys behind are just in the train. They can't really do anything because everyone ahead's got DRS. So it's all balls really in Ryan's court right now. Yep,
I completely agree. And I can't help but feel as well that the leaders have made the right call starting on the hard tyre, and everyone doing the same thing. Looking at the medium runners towards the bottom of the table, no one's really made any massive gains up through the order. So maybe starting on the medium tyres might have proved to be a deficit, as they wouldn't have been able to pull away completely from the chasing pack. So it's a waiting game at the moment. Everyone's on the same tyre. Everyone's in this big train where everyone in the middle of it can't really do anything. We just have to wait until the pit period, or a safety car comes out, or a virtual safety car that completely changes the race. So just going to be patient. Wait for the moment. Oh, 40 close. Looking to the inside here. Oh, he's shoving the nose in. Here we go. Side by side. Through Stowe. Oh, you can see Bell. He's just in front. Heading into the Vale chicane. Bell with that inside line. He covers off Ford pretty well there. But Mr. Ford saw an opportunity at Stowe. Both cars got through the fast right-hander without touching one another. Testament to their skill, really.
Oh, there was just a slight rub there, Lane. I got pretty nervous that it's always the car on the inside that comes off the worst in those situations. And yeah, if there was any significant contact there, I think 40 would have been in trouble. So well done, both of them again, keeping it really clean. So yeah, second, I guess, significant piece of action between the two end of the race so far, I guess. So yeah, 40 on the front foot, trying to get past. Maybe feels like he's been held up a little bit. He wants to see if he can challenge for the win.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like, to go for a move like that, it means that you got confidence in yourself to try and challenge the leader and maybe try and do something out in front. It's like that sort of sign of desperation to try and get by. But Bell placed his car well. He carried enough speed, and also, to his credit, gave enough room for Ford, so there wasn't significant contact that would have resulted in a spin. So Fordy gets to maintain his P3 for now, and Crichton right behind in fourth, so the Race Spec boys are in a pretty solid position. In fact, those drivers in the top six, as Broccolilli gets a 3-second time penalty, the first for this race. The top three teams at the moment are OSRL, Race Spec, and the Aussie Formula Racing League, with Red Bull, McLaren, and both Alfa Romeos all in the top six, with one Ferrari in the form of Prince right behind as well in P7. So it seems like during these early stages of this race, it's a three-way league fight between OSRL, AFR, and Race Spec. Down the Wellington Straight, heading towards Brooklands. Bell closing in, but again, not by enough. As Broccolilli pits in, he's got a new set of hard tyres bolted onto the car. Is that a bit early, Plevs? 8 laps on the mediums?
I think you can get away with that. I think you're probably ideally looking to probably somewhere around 10, 11, 12 laps. But yeah, the hards will go to the end, no problem, from lap 9. So yeah, it's funny. None of the medium guys really had or made any progress really on the medium tyre. So yeah, I thought maybe the medium might be the go actually to start the race, just because there might be a safety car, as a lot of drivers aren't familiar with each other. We got action here, and Bailey's going for it again on Ryan.
Oh, that's Stowe once again, and Bailey gets in front. Only Justel. Can Bell fight back? Yes, he can. Down the inside into Vale as Broccolilli's having a hard time heading down the Wellington Straight. Bell hangs on to second. This is really hard driving from the McLaren driver, doing a superb job defending his P2, but this is giving Jack an opportunity he needs to try and break away from those behind. But unfortunately for him, Bell's still within that 1 second range.
Yeah, now's the time for Jack to push if he wants to break him. He's got all that battery. Still 80%, incredible. Yeah, Ford is used quite a bit. He's down to 40% with those overtakes attempts. But good to see. He's the only one trying to race these guys. I don't know what Ryan. Maybe he's been a bit strategic and he's going to wait for his moment with Jack. But yeah, haven't even seen him turn on the battery to try and go for a move down like with DRS yet. So yeah.
I have a feeling your comment about him playing a long game is probably the correct answer. He doesn't want to battle right now. He wants to get through the early stages of the race and wait until, I'd say maybe as soon as he moves on to the medium tyre, then he'll start to attack for the race win.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's going to go for undercut. I know we're quite a ways from pitting onto the mediums, but yeah, it might come down to pit stops. Obviously, no one's going to be double stacking, so yeah, there's going to be a bit of mix up at the pit stop, so I wonder who's going to go first.
Returning to the pit lane is Broccolilli, so I think he's got damage after his incident down the Wellington Straight. So he's moved back in to get that car fixed, and he's moved on to another set of medium compound tyres through the opening couple of corners and up towards the hairpin of Village. They'll, again, just being patient, just biding time, letting the laps tick over, and then maybe we'll see him attack. He's a very good defender, as we've seen over the course of these 11 laps so far, and he can race very well. We saw that with Ford on the opening lap. The fact that those two were side by side for as long as they were was quite remarkable. As you mentioned, Plevs, very reminiscent to Verstappen and Hamilton, except they didn't crash at Copse Corner, which sort of describes that talent level of the guys on track. They're able to give each other enough room and not take somebody out. So fantastic stuff at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at battery levels, Big Al's down to 38%, so I don't know if he's struggling to keep up the pace, but Prince has recharged. He's a little bit. He's back to mid-50s now, 56. So yeah, he's showing good pace as well. To obviously make that overtake and then catch these guys and charging it up, see if he can move forward. He's still 9 tenths behind, but yeah, he's hanging on.
Bell right behind Humphries heading into the Vale chicane. Not quite close enough to really send a move, but he was properly close entering Stowe Corner. He might be tempted to try and look for a move at some point as 40 sets a new fastest lap, 30.609, showing that the hard tyre still has plenty of pace on lap 12 compared to lap 2. Crazy Kiwi entering the pits as Noodles gets a 3-second time penalty in P8. That's going to be a bit of a... it's going to be something to deal with towards the end of the race. He's got a whole train of cars directly behind him. It's going to affect him quite a lot if he can't break away. Or, of course, we have a safety car that bunches the entire field up. This leading group. Not much has changed in terms of position. Bell still hovering behind at about 4 tenths back. 40 hovering at about 3 tenths back. We've seen him play aggressive. He has been unsuccessful at trying to get by. In terms of the rest of the field, everybody is pretty well spread out according to the interval. No one's really in any sort of position to try and attack just yet. Maybe a fair few drivers are in that sort of conservative mindset right now, trying to tick those laps over, then try and build an assault towards the end of the race when you're on fresh tyres. Ford closing in, but I don't think he'll be close enough to attack into Stowe Corner this time around. Yeah, he stays in third. Bell close, but not quite close enough. Leaders par pit into the pits, goes forward. Following him is Fiery Hour. They're in. Is this early, Plevs? Too early, maybe.
Hard to tell. Maybe a lap early, but it's certainly on the aggressive side for 40.
Yeah, I would have thought out of the two Alfa Romeo drivers to pit early, I thought it would have been Crichton who would do it. He's that kind of driver.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Zach usually goes first with the pit stop. So yeah, see if Zach's just flirting with that 1 second at the moment. Hopefully he can get that. He's had to use battery to get it in. Big Al is struggling though. He's out of the 1 second range of Crichton. But yeah, see how long these guys go. Whether Zach's going to go next or stay out with the front two, I don't know. But yes, huge move by 40 to try and go for the undercut. He's coming out of the pits in clean air as well. So yeah, he'll be able to push right away or once he gets his tyres up to temp.
He has Fiery Hour directly behind him, so it's not quite smooth sailing for Ford. He does have one driver to worry about, and we know Fiery Hour is an extremely capable driver, as Millsy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. All right, what do the leaders do? Are we coming in? Humphries is in. Crichton follows. Ryan Bell stays out.
Interesting from Ryan. Yeah, I don't know. He's probably going to get jumped. So yeah, I think that was the wrong call by him. Unless he just dumps his battery somehow and still maintains second, or yeah, it's going to be tight on pit exit actually, which is what we should keep an eye on. See where Jack and Zach come out. Big Al pitted as well.
Alright.
This is going to be close.
Ford and Fiery Hour are making their way through the Vale chicane, heading up towards Club Corner now and onto the Hamilton Straight. Has the undercut worked for those two boys? Let's find out.
It has. Oh.
Here comes Humphries out of the pits. There's Ford. Side by side with Crichton. It's tight, but 40 gets in front.
Yeah, they got cold tyres. So yeah, basically holding stations for now. Oh! Jack had a big wiggle there, and he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable down the straight.
Now he has cold tyres. He needs to get him up to temperature. What does 40 do here? Into Brooklands. He sends it in. They're side by side, heading towards Luffield. 40 gets the nose in front, but Jack has the inside line. 40's tyres are up to temperature, so he holds the outside and takes P8, which is the provisional race lead.
That is absolutely quality race craft. You will not see a better overtake in league racing.
My goodness, that was a send. No DRS as well. That was an old-fashioned send. Pre-DRS days into Brooklands. Fantastic stuff. It was tight at the exit. Jack was forced out
setting
wide.
Quickest laps. He still hasn't pitted.
He's attacking hard. He is pushing as hard as he dares right now. Here comes Humphries to counter-attack. Heading up towards Stowe. Looking round the outside. He swoops in. Covers the... Oh, he has a wiggle. And he runs wide. And Ford...
Oh, he's come back on!
Oh, my goodness.
My God.
He's hit Ford. Ford is out of the race. He has crashed out. And his car has blocked a pit lane entry.
And he wonders why he's... No, I'm not going to say it.
My goodness.
Gee, that is so careless. I'm sorry. For all the talent and speed, that's kind of unacceptable.
A huge moment in this race. A race-changing moment. Ford is out with a humongous shunt.
Wow.
A lap 15 of 26 here at Silverstone. We have a new provisional race leader. That's G-Force Crichton in the other Alpha. And here comes Fiery Hour, trying to look around the outside. These two were former teammates a season ago here at Race Spec. Two incredible, capable drivers. It'll be interesting to see how these two will battle. But Bell doing a superb job out in front. He still has pace, and I reckon he's going to pit here. Yes, he's going to come in. He spent all of his battery on those laps. He was pushing as hard as he could. And I reckon that incident might have given him a bit of a boost as well, because I reckon that would have cost a few people some time. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting to see where Bell comes out relative to those behind. Mash stays out for another lap. Mr. Fury Strat is coming in. New tyres bolted onto the McLaren and away he leaves.
Yeah, I think Ryan's... I mean, he's got to make overtakes now. He's going to be the 4th car in the train, so... unless he's going to make me eat my words and come out ahead of him, but... yeah.
It's going to be interesting. They're heading down the Hamilton Straight now. And here comes
yeah,
Bell out of the pits. Look at this. A humongous gap. He still has to get his tyres up to temperature, but he's got a gap. And those mediums won't take long. Bell has done a brilliant job on those hard tyres, pushing as hard as he did. He's built up a 2-second margin over Crichton. He has a wiggle, though. That's going to cost him a tenth or so. Crichton's closing in. You can see him weaving. He's getting temperature into his tyres, but that's losing him time down the Wellington Straight. The gap shrunk to now 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, Zach needs to get in DRS. He made me eat my words immediately, so I'll have some humble pie for that one. But yeah, well done to Ryan. That was an insane end to that stint to fill that gap. Wow. So Zach's right on the 1 second now. Can he do it?
It's going to be close. He's using every bit of battery.
He's got no resources left, so I think Ryan's played it perfectly, unfortunately, for Zach.
It required a little bit of chaos to make this work, but Bell, he's now on fresh oil. But he doesn't have much battery himself. He's down to 6%. Crichton, similar story. Fiery Hour's got 20 odd. Jack's got just under 50. Big Al behind, just over 20. And then we've got Prince at the back of this train with a time penalty. Mash and Toto, they're into the pits for their one and only pit stop as we head through the chicane and up towards the final corner and onto the Hamilton Straight.
Jack pushing. Yeah, I feel like, going back to that incident with Bailey and Jack, I'm not sure what'll happen post-race there, but just very, very sudden rejoin. I don't think Bailey did too much wrong there. He just literally punted off the track when Jack's rejoined, so, can't do much about it now, but Ryan doing really well.
There is a post-race stewarding panel, isn't there? I think there's 3 or so members involved.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So that'll be interesting. But see what happens post-race. But as it stands, I think it's AFR because Big Al's still in the train. Yellows
are out. It's Broccolilli who was spun. This is at the exit of Luffield, and he stopped the car. This is very intelligent stuff here. Just letting everyone through. Flick spins in the right direction. He gets back going. Nice bit of awareness there. But no, Bell, he's out in front doing the business and he's building a gap. So long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's going to be very tough to beat.
Fiery, I'll let Jax through. It is a team event, of course. So yeah, Fiery just letting Jack through maybe to attack Zach. So it's going to be interesting. Zach running very low on battery, he's 17% at the moment.
Yellow's out.
Ryan's checking out. So wow.
Now, I must mention, having commentated many races in my time, this isn't going to be the first time Crichton and Jack have battled. I've seen it on a few occasions. These guys do not give each other much room, to put it lightly. And they can rub. These two don't mind getting a rub on between one another, as Broccolilli's having a really hard time with that Mercedes. Hopefully he can just calm himself down, keep the car in the straight line, keep it going. But Jack still has to close in by just under 0.5 of a second, try and battle Crichton. He's still got battery in hand. Meanwhile, Fiery Hour just behind. So yeah, a bit of teamwork between the OSRL guys. Fiery Hour maybe just believing that Jack will be better at battling Crichton than what he would. So he just let him through, let him get on with it. Big Al behind him, P5, keeping out of trouble, doing what he needs to do. This is going to be big points for him and AFR with his teammate Bell out in front. Here comes Humphries down the inside. Oh, and a big switchback. My goodness, I think there might have been contact between the two cars, and Crichton keeps P2. Fiery Hour now moves back into third. That was some interesting stuff heading into Stowe. Jack, it looked like he was on the grass heading down the Hangar Straight. And it seemed that Jack was moving back to the racing line, and Crichton fired it down the inside, and I think there was contact between the two cars.
Yep. Oh, and Fiery going for a late move, or you had to pull out there, and that could have been bad for both of them. Sensible from
Contact between the two teammates as well, and that will allow Crichton to break away. The gap now half a second between the cars as we head down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. You can see Jack right behind. He's unable to get by his teammate. Now Big Al is getting into the fight as we head around Luffield turn 7 and back on to the old pitch straight. Now will Fiery Hour once again let his teammate through, or will they hold station? I suppose we'll find out in a few moments' time as we head up towards Cops Corner, turn 9, up towards the famous Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel S's. See how tight this battle is. It's insane stuff. Fine margins, and these guys, they are not holding back. They're not holding back whatsoever. As we head around Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight, Fiery Hour, half a second. He's got the DRS shut. He's letting Jack through once again. He's letting his teammate back through into P3. Oh, Big Al, very close there. He could have had a go there down the inside of Stowe, but he stayed back and he holds P5.
Yeah, he should have had a go. I think he should have. Would have caught Fiery out. I think wouldn't have been expecting it. So yeah, missed opportunity there for Big Al.
I would love to be Prince right now. I get to watch the best show in the world right here. Get all these guys battling one another. Oh yeah, I'm just picking you off one by one. I'm doing my best.
Unfortunately, he's got a penalty though. Unfortunately, but yeah, can't do much. Yeah, he does have a good seat though. You're not wrong. And Ryan out in front, just dominating with these guys battling behind. They're obviously losing time when they do that. So yeah, 4.5 seconds to gap now.
Yep. Bell doing exactly what he needs to do. But Prince, quite a good driver from my limited experience racing against him in endurance. Oh, Broccolilli's out. Hello. Do we have a safety car? Yes, we do. You're joking. We're 6.5 laps to go here at Silverstone. We have a safety car. This is going to turn into a sprint here. A sprint to determine it all.
Wow. It's going to come down to who's got a, 6 laps left. Do you pit or not? I guess you got to.
Well, Bell will be the determining factor. What does the leader do?
If I was him, because he's got the freshest tyres, only 4 laps, I probably wouldn't pit. But if I was someone like Fiery Hour who pitted pretty early, then I definitely would.
He stays out. Bell.
Yeah, that's a good decision, I think. Let's see what Zach does. Is he going in? Yes, he is.
Yeah. Some drivers staying out, some drivers coming in. We got Big Al and Crichton and Prince coming into the pits. It's a 50-50 call. Do you want the track position or do you want the ridiculously fast soft compound tyre? We've got some favouring the mediums. We've got some favouring pitting in for soft tyres.
Well, maybe some people won't pit, and that's exactly what Noodles has done. And by Zach's actually held up the guys behind a little bit, and so Fire Hour didn't pit. Jack didn't pit. Interesting. Okay, well it's on now because Zach's got to make a couple of overtakes, 3 overtakes actually, to get back on to the OSRL boys. So yeah, big call. Big Al went in. Vengeance went in. I thought more drivers would pit, to be honest. Yeah, a bit surprising. It
is interesting because we do have 6 medium runners. That is a healthy chunk. That's a healthy group of cars who elected not to pit. And we know with Silverstone, when DRS is enabled, it becomes very difficult to make moves when you're stuck in a train. But we know what Crichton's like. He's a man who will go for it. He was really upset with himself after a race at Abu Dhabi. He was conservative of that race, and he was absolutely furious with himself. I think after that race, he told himself to drive like his old self, the aggressor. He goes for those big sends, and he uses that abundance of natural talent he got to pull off the overtakes. He's nuts at it, but he's got a lot of work to do. 7th. That's a chunk of cars to pass, and these guys aren't easy. They are fast guys to make their way through. It will not be easy at all. It'll be fascinating to see how this all unfolds. Now, Bell, I think he'll be hoping for more laps to tick over behind the safety car. Give those guys on the soft tyres less time to try and catch up. So, and it will also give less time for those behind to utilise DRS to try and get by. So, and we might as well go through the points right now as they stand. Now, the two major contenders are probably OSRL and AFR, Aussie Formula Racing. With the points as they stand, for OSRL, we've got 45 and 40. That's 95 points. For Bell, it's 50. And with his teammate Big Al down in P8, that's 72. So Big Al needs to make up some huge places here to try and catch up. I don't think any other team is in any sort of realistic shot to try and battle other than those two teams now. So it's AFR versus OSRL. Who's going to take the top spot? Of course, provisionally, like we mentioned, like we talk about, there is a post-race stewarding panel. And judging from what we've seen, it's going to be an incident report put in. So,
yeah, it'd be interesting to see driver's perspective. I mean, I watched the incident on from Bailey's onboard, and it was just Jack's car come flying across straight into him. But yeah, you have to rejoin the racetrack safely. That's the rule in every league. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But unfortunately, it's cost Race Spec a driver. But these boys are still putting on a great show. Yeah, it's just super unlucky for Bailey, who was definitely right in the fight, and probably the only driver really trying to make things happen and make moves until that incident. So yeah, credit to him. He did really well, and it's just unfortunate.
This is going to be very, very interesting to see how this leading pack battle. Bell has demonstrated he has got some superb racecraft, and he knows how to defend the position as well. Can he defend it without the power of DRS? Well, with the laps ticking down as they are, we might only have DRS for only a couple of laps. It looks like we're going to need to stay behind the safety car for lap 23, which means we'll get back on the green flag racing on lap 24.
Yeah, it's hurt Zach, unfortunately. It's Nat Hammer holding everyone up at the back. But yeah, one less lap for Zach to try and make some moves. So yeah, he's probably regretting pinning right now, I think. But see what happens. He's got to make 3 overtakes to get back where he was. Well, actually no, 5 overtakes. So see what happens. It's going to be a frantic finish, I think.
I reckon you're right.
Noodles does have a penalty, but yeah, I haven't really seen much of the 3 guys, Noodles, Fury, and Mash, and what their pace is like, and how easy they might be to get past. But yeah, Zach's got his work cut out.
Fastest lap at the moment as well is Ryan Bell, so that's another 2 points to McLaren, so that increases that to 74. Got to keep that in mind. You do get points for fastest lap. There might be game-changing points as well, especially if something happens towards the front during these final 3 laps of this Oceania F1 Invitational. All right.
Yep.
Everyone's now lined up.
Yep. I hope Jack and Ryan go at it for the win, and it's not like the first half of the race where they just didn't do anything. I'm sure Jack will try and win the race, even though OSRL probably in the box seat to win the event now.
Alrighty. Coming up towards the final sector split now. Safety car is in this lap. That's the call from race control. Ryan Bell now controls the field. Top 6 cars are on old medium tyres. The horde of drivers behind on fresh softs. Everyone is going to be pushing ridiculously hard for these final 3 laps. It's a winner takes all prize. Of course, it's a team race. But to win an event like this, it's a huge honour considering the calibre of drivers we have in this lobby. Bell's taken off, it seems. Yes, he has. A nice restart. He's got 6.5 tenths already over Jack Humphries. Make that 7.5. Mash has spun. Mash has spun. He has spun at Stowe Corner and he's dropped down to last position, promoting Crichton to P6. Here we go. We're back under green flag racing here at Silverstone. We got 3 laps to go, and it's a terrific restart by Bell. He's got 1 second already over Jack Humphries in P2. Yellows, yellows, yellows. It's Fury Strat. Oh, a collision! A humongous shunt. Crichton's got a 5 second. Millsy's out of the race. You can see his tyre hanging off there. A humongous crash on the final part of the race. Oh my goodness me. Millsy, Vengeance and Fury Strat, they're all out at turn 1.
Yeah, Fury Strat spun on the apex of turn 1 on those cold tyres, and Zach had nowhere to go, and I think he thought ghosting was on, and because we run ghosting in at Race Spec, but yeah, it's off for this event, I believe. So yeah, I think it took him a second to realise that the Alpine wasn't ghosting. And I think there was a collision, and I think the guys behind didn't even get a chance to react. So yeah, unfortunately, I think this is why you probably need ghosting on, even though you would argue it's a little bit unrealistic. But yeah, helps with the attrition rate.
Humongous disappointment for the Rush Racing League. Both drivers taken out in that incident. They were both hovering around that top 10. They were both looking really, really good. That is a huge, huge, huge disappointment for them. Millsy as well, caught up in that. His rear left-hand side tyre destroyed from that accident at turn 1 as Ryan Bell asserts his authority out in front. He's got almost 2 seconds over Humphries.
Yeah, fastest lap from Zach though, and he's right on Noodles AU's gearbox, and he's going to try and send it in turn 3 to the inside and leave space. No, he didn't leave space. So Noodles came back across him on corner exit. That was a bit dodgy, but Zach gets through. Now he's got 2 seconds to make up on Fiery. But yeah, Ryan, what a restart. 2.2 seconds. He looks like he's going to be comfortable unless Jax has got something up his sleeve in the last 2 laps. But yeah.
Big Al trying to make moves here. Those time penalties for Crichton and for Noodles are going to play a huge part in the final results here. Al, he needs to try and find a way past Noodles. He's looking around the outside here, heading into Cop's corner. He can't find a way through just yet, but a brilliant switchback. He gets in front. Contact! What was that all about? At corner exit, ridiculous stuff there from Noodles. Completely unaware he had a McLaren alongside him. He slams into the side.
Yeah, similar thing happened to Zach as well. So yeah, Noodles, yeah, not leaving the required space there for the 2 drivers that passed him. Who wins if Jack gets a penalty? Does that promote Big Al, and that means AFR win?
That will have to be determined post-race.
Yeah.
We have to work on provisional results now. So with Big Al finishing in 4th, the points total increases to 88. Whereas with Humphries and Fiery, it's still 95. It will be OSRL who will be taking victory at the end of this race. Of course, we've got a whole heap of stuff to deliberate over in the stewards' room. It's definitely not said and done here at Silverstone. But what can't be understated is the brilliant drive from Ryan Bell here today. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Qualified superbly well. He's kept out of trouble all the way throughout this race, pulled off a masterstroke in terms of strategy. Granted, it took a bit of chaos to make it work, but he's made it work. That's the key thing. He's made it work. And he's out there leading the way, pulling away from the 2 Red Bulls at that, driving brilliantly, representing his league superbly. Humphries and Fiery Hour will complete the final 2 podium places provisionally, as I said. Crichton in P4, followed by Big Al. And it seems like the rest of the positions might be set, unless Prince can do something trying to get by Kahoot down the hangar straight. He might be able to find a way by if he's got DRS. Kahoot has it as well, so Kahoot might be able to hang on to P7 here. But out in front, it's Ryan Bell. He's got 3 corners to negotiate. The Vale chicane and, as Vengeance left the session. And around the final corner of Club, Ryan Bell will win the inaugural Oceania F1 Invitational. But in terms of leagues, it will be OSRL who will take top honours, with Humphries and Fiery Hour finishing P2 and P3. Big Al finishing P4. And rounding out the top 5 is Kahoot and the AlphaTauri representing RRL.
Wow. Well, we expected fireworks, and it's exactly what we got, Lane.
Yep.
Yeah, just noting, like, obviously Zach got a 5-second penalty, which drops him down, but that was for a severe collision, which we all know the game likes to hand out when you...
Yeah.
He obviously just nicked the spinning car head on the restart there, so should be pretty easy removal, but
Oh, wait a minute.
yeah, well done.
Oh,
Well
wait
done,
a
Toronto.
minute. I am stupid. Hang on. I can't math. Second and third, that's 85 points. 85. I can't math. It's not OSRL. It's AFR, the Aussie Racing League. They win it by 3 points. Thanks to the fastest lap from Mr. Bell.
Did he get fastest lap? I thought Zach got fastest lap.
I think
Zach
he did.
got fastest,
Or was it Zach?
got fastest lap. Yeah, Zach
Well,
got
even
fastest
so,
lap.
that makes it even better. Because that would mean AFR will win by 1 point.
So what's that? 86.
Beats 85.
Yeah, 1 point. You're right.
I'm sorry, AFR. You're actually the winners of this event. Ryan Bell with victory and Big Al finishing in 4th is enough points to take overall victory over OSRL. Humphreys and Fiery Al finished 2nd and 3rd. That is 45 and 40 points. That adds up to 85. With Bell's win and the 4th place from Al, that is 86 points. It's 50 and 36. AFR win by 1.
Wow.
Rest of the order, we have Kahoot, followed by Prince, Crichton, Kiwi, Noodles, Hammer, Mash, Toto, followed by Kiwi, Millsy, Vengeance, Fury Shot, who are all classified. Only 2 actual retirements, a Brocker Lily and GeForce Ford.
Crazy. Well, good stuff. What a good event. Yeah. Very, very happy for all the leagues involved, and some great racing on show as well. Yeah, definitely hot it up when after the pit stops got a bit spicy, but yeah, well done to everyone. Well done to Slammer for putting it all together and all leagues that participated, and the drivers, of course, for putting on a great show. Well, yeah, just well done to everyone involved.
Do you want to invite anyone to the party? We want to invite the 2 GeForce boys then?
Yeah, sure. See if they wanna. I can take care of that.
See if they'd like to join us and have a chat about what happened. I'm sure 40 will have something to say. I'm sure Crichton will have something to say. And by the way, Zach asked me last week that I better do some post-race interviews. He loves that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I might go through the order while you're doing that, and I can try and work out where the teams finish relative to one another in terms of points. Now, do those retired drivers get classified in the final results? Those who retired, especially those towards the end, do they get classified in the final results?
Look, I'm not sure
sure.
If they need to finish the race or not. But yeah, I didn't actually catch that on the results screen either.
Hello, Mr. Ford.
Hello, fellas.
Hello. Nice to hear you after a week.
That's it.
Mate, what can I say?
Yeah, it's tough.
Tough.
It's tough.
Hello, Mr.
I don't know,
Crichton.
man. Hey, Lane.
How you doing?
Not too bad.
You asked for this, so here you go. It's post-race stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
Boys. I mean, I'd say you represented us pretty well, so thank you very much for that. But
Yeah.
I'd say the results just don't speak that, unfortunately. Suppose we'll start with you, Mr. Ford. You definitely had a dramatic race. Had some good battling throughout that, but qualifying, first of all, for you, how was it on your end?
Yeah, it was good. It was, I was so close to P1, but yeah, I probably know where that time is in the lap. But yeah, Jack set in a pretty good lap. So yeah, F5 I was pretty happy with though. That's what I was aiming around.
Fair enough. But the race start was fantastic. You and Bell battled brilliantly on that opening lap.
Yeah, no, it was a really exciting race start actually. I think Bell probably had the best start out of the top 3. But yeah, I was just getting blocked off a lot by Jax in front of me, especially through turn 3 as well. Yeah, he actually went on the outside and missed the apex to defend against me. I don't know why, but yeah, it was pretty clear his intentions from there, I think. But yeah, no, battling with Ryan was really good. You know, we went side by side through cops and stuff. Couple of wheel-to-wheel bumps, but it was all hard luck there. So, yeah, pretty similar racing what Zach does.
Fair enough. But yeah, Plevs mentioned this a few times. You were about the only driver in the entire field trying to make moves during that race. You had some pretty audacious sends into Stowe. Gee whiz.
Yeah. No, that's it. You know, I feel like Ryan could have made plenty of moves if he wanted to, but he never did want to. So, you know, you got to try to surprise them. And I think that's where, you know, some racecraft comes into it. And I feel like I had that tonight. As I said, the battling with Ryan was really good. You know, I was able to get up the inside of him in Stowe a couple of times, but he defended it well. So yeah, I just wanted to do something. Sitting in that DRS train, you know, it wasn't too fun. So yeah.
Fair enough. But I suppose next thing we got to talk about is pit stops. You decided to call it early. Come in. I think it was lap 12. You decided to come in.
Yeah, well, I mean, after I realised I needed to do something different, it was probably going to be lap 13, the ideal spot for me, but, you know, I just couldn't pass them, so I needed to do something different, and it worked, to be fair. I got in front of Jackson. I think, you know, if we had kept it clean, I think I would have been ahead of Ryan as well, although he would have had fresh tyres, but yeah, I was setting purple sectors there, so definitely think I would have come out in first, but yeah, it's tough.
And then your incident with Jack, could you take us through that?
Yeah, going up to Stowe, I'd be inside. We're probably side by side on braking zone, but he's broke a little bit later than me, so gets himself about a car length in front. But yeah, I'm carrying more apex speed, so I just lightly tap his right rear. I probably would have ceded the position to him anyway, based on that, just to stop any miscommunication there. But yeah. No, that rejoin speaks for itself, and yeah, you know, it's tough because he's got pace, but that racecraft isn't there. I'm not afraid to say that, and yeah, we've seen in the past. It's just irrelevant to him.
Yeah, no, it was really unfortunate. A huge shunt into the wall too. Ruined your race. It wasn't just damage; it was full-on retirement for you.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't even think his car was facing straight when he was coming back on the track. It was, yeah, facing the pit lane pretty much. So yeah, it's tough. It didn't really give us a fair chance at the win there, I think. And I backed myself being the quickest there on track tonight. Absolutely, you know, being in DRS train third, and I'm still catching second and first and trying to make moves says a lot about it. So yeah, I think, you know, if I'd have been able to get past them, I'm sure Zach had the racecraft there to get through him as well. But yeah, I guess a massive congrats to AFR for what they did, and Ryan, his face was really good tonight. But yeah, you know, it's disappointing when, you know, one driver can change the outcome of a whole race.
Yeah, it's sort of how it works with these one race invitationals. They can happen from time to time, and unfortunately, bad luck came your way, and yeah, you weren't able to get the result you wanted, so I'm sorry for that. But I would assume now you're pretty happy that the season's over and you're looking forward to a Chrissy break.
Yeah, definitely have a good break now from here on out, and yeah, start picking it up again late January, I think, next season starting, so should be good again. Hopefully, yeah, some good races between Zach and myself and any others who want to join as well. But yeah, it's been a good season. Yeah, shame it ended like this tonight, but again, I think the positives are there. The pace was there. Zach drove quite well as well, I thought. We were managing, I think combined we would have been the quickest. But yeah, you know, stuff gets in the way. But yeah, no, cheers again Lane and Matt for commentating tonight, and Slomer as well for organising all this. It was a good night.
Yeah, sorry for the result, mate, but congrats on a good season of racing, man. You can look back at the season, it's been mega for you, so well done.
Yeah, no, thanks heaps, Lane. Cheers, guys.
Mr. Crichton.
No.
It wasn't quite the result you were looking for, I'd imagine, as well.
Yeah, no, not really. That first stint was great, but I feel like we were just working really great. I was just sitting there, just saving my battery, just chilling, really, just waiting for something to happen. And then yeah, the pit stops happened, and yeah, that's when all shit happened.
Yeah, it did. Qualifying though, P4 I believe it was. You were 1/10 off pole.
Yeah, yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, that's pretty good for my, yeah, I'd say for my season of Race Spec, I can't really complain from that lap time. It was really quick, and I think I was 1/10 exactly off pole, which is great. And then I knew my race car was going to be hopefully a fair bit better than that too, so, yeah.
Opening stages you mentioned already, you were quite conservative, just letting the laps tick over?
Yeah, yeah. I think I got a warning lap 1, I was just asleep, and then after that, I was just trying to sit behind Bailey, because I know he was trying to, pass Ryan, so I was just trying to sit there, save my warnings and battery, because I had a feeling that, yeah, like later in the race it could probably come to me and I could try and win it.
At pit phase, 40 pitted before you. Now, Plevs and I were talking about it. Out of the two of you, and in fact out of everyone in the leading group, I thought subconsciously that out of all the drivers to pit early, you were number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
To do that?
No, I would have been, but then Bailey and I swapped laps. That's why that happened.
Okay.
So yeah, no, Bailey went lap 12 to try and pass Ryan, which was a smart move. But yeah, and then I went lap 13, which wasn't too bad. I probably should have went lap 14 with Ryan, seeing what happened between Bailey and Jax, but it's alright.
But you got to have a pretty decent view of the incident between Jack and Bailey. Yeah. How was it from your POV?
Oh, it just clean took him out. It turned hard right. Like it's pretty bad. That's not how you rejoin on the track, you know. That's not hard racing or whatever. It's just stupid, you know. That's why he's banned from so many leagues. So it speaks for itself, really.
But you were pretty close to getting involved in it, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, I was right behind Bailey, and I was pretty lucky to not get collected there. But yeah, no, I managed to keep going, and kind of got spicy from there for me, because I was trying to lead the train there, but I had no battery, so I was kind of just a sitting duck really, and had to use my racecraft in a couple corners, just back them up, and it worked pretty good, so yeah, I can't complain.
No, it's an interesting move at Stowe, big old send on Jack.
Yeah, yeah, that one was a bit hairy. I thought I was going to get damaged there, but somehow I didn't, so I just kept on going.
Fair enough. But Broccolilli would have his accident that would bring out the safety car. You made the call to pit for the soft tyre, and I reckon if the safety car didn't stay out for as long as it did, it might have given you a benefit.
Yeah, probably would have worked out. Yeah, for sure. Like I was always going to stop, and then yeah, safety car stayed out till lap 23, and then I was catching up heaps, and then Noodle I got stuck on him because I think he's on PC or something. So there was a bit of desync, and I got stuck on him, and I lost a second on that second last lap, which would have cost me easy having a crack at the Red Bulls, which is what I really wanted. But yeah, didn't end up, but still I'm pretty happy with with Bailey and I. Like I think our team went really good. Like our combined pace was great because we qualified 2nd and 4th, and so and I think in the start of the race our spots would have given us the win overall. So I can't really complain. I think as a team we worked really good and our pace was great.
Yeah, that incident just after the restart, that was hairy.
Where's that? Where's that one? Sorry.
Turn 1. 20.
Turn 1. Oh yeah.
26.
Yep. Yeah, no, because the Ferrari spun out first, and then the Alpine spun out through turn 1, and then I thought ghosting was on, so I just kept going straight, and then it didn't ghost, and I was like, alright, I might have to turn left here, and I just brushed him, and that's where we got that 5-second pen. Somehow didn't get wing damage again, so I was quite stoked with that. Just kept going, so I'm sure if we didn't have a couple of those moments in that final stint, we hopefully could have passed those Red Bulls.
You were right, Plevs. You were spot on.
I'm good. Yeah.
So, absolutely spot on. But, yeah, I have a feeling it just wasn't quite the race you were looking for you two, but thank you for representing the league.
Cheers. Yeah, of course, and I think we can be proud because our pace was great.
Well, yeah,
and I think we showed, hopefully as a whole, that that we probably should have won it if shit went to plan. But it's alright. We'll come back next time and have a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final words, Mr. Plevs?
No, just a big thanks to Zach and Bailey. Yeah, guys did really well. thanks for putting in effort as well. I know you guys practiced pretty hard for this, so yeah, well done to everyone again, all the leagues involved. Well done to Ryan and Al for winning, and yeah, all the other leagues, and especially to Slammer for putting all together. It's really big effort on his part, and yeah, I thought it was awesome, and yeah, really good idea and concept. So yeah, hopefully it's not the last one.
And a huge thank you for all the drivers taking part, representing your respective leagues. A huge thanks to all the coordinators bringing all of this together. Huge respect goes out to all of you members of DRS, OSRL, Inters Racing League, AFR Rush, Rapid Racing League, Australian Racing Association, and Oz F1, all coming together to make this huge event happen. Huge respect to everyone, truly, from my point of view. This has been one of the most spectacular, high-class races in terms of driving talent that I've seen in some time. So a huge thank you to everyone. And of course to Slammer, the mastermind behind it all, bringing it all together. Kudos to you, big guy. This was a hell of a racing event. But I think with the race finally over and everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream. And I should announce as well who finishes where provisionally. So I've tallied up the points, trying to work out who finishes where, and I have included those who retired just after the final safety car restart, because they are classified on the board. So I have included them. I just haven't included Ford and Broccolilli, who did actually DNF. So, provisional results. The Aussie Formula Racing League win, scoring 86 points, beating OSRL by 1 on 85. Followed by the Rapid Racing League, the AlphaTauri boys, scoring 51 points. They finished third, followed by the Inters Racing League on 42, then Oz F1 on 38. Race Spec with only Crichton scoring points. He makes us finish P6 with 25, followed by the Australian Racing Association with 20, and DRS and Rush have 10 points each, so they finish in equal 8th spot. So AFR are our inaugural champions, so well done to those two boys. Huge effort from them. Well, I think now with everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream and put a final stamp on this season of racing in the year 2022. Anything to say, Mr. Plevs?
No, that's it, mate. Well done. Thank you to yourself as well for another great call. Like, yeah, making the race so exciting. So yeah, well done. And yeah, we'll see you next year for Season 8, which will be hopefully bigger and better. Maybe we'll get some of these quick boys in to race against Zach and Bailey. That'd be great.
And to everyone watching this event, I hope you've enjoyed our broadcast of the Oceania F1 Invitational. And a huge final thank you to the organisers for making this all happen. And thank you for the drivers for putting on one hell of a show. Until next time, I've been LaneEveringham. My co-commentator for tonight is Mr. Race Spec himself. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodbye.